All right, I'm gonna start my recording, and then we're gonna move on from ancient Greece now, but we're gonna be at a very similar. Yoshi, what is happening?
My dog's pulling me.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on from ancient Greece, but it's actually like decently similar to ancient Rome, which is what we're gonna do next. Rome kind of evolved from the ideas that ancient Greece had. It came a little bit after, so there's a lot of similarities, but we're gonna talk about specific things from Rome. So I'm gonna share my screen, and we're gonna start with that assignment that got posted. That's called Persian Wars. I don't think it's very long. I think we'll finish it today. So over in Google Classroom, if you scroll down to Social Studies, we have Persian Wars, and it's a set of Google Slides that has some information on it, so we're going to go ahead and get that opened up. Okay, so I'll give you about 1 minute to go ahead and get that pulled up, please. Okay, so go ahead and get that opened up. And we're going to have to zoom in pretty far. Skylar, can you put your back on the floor, please? Thank you. Alrighty. So, everybody wants to see Skylar. No. Alright, that's as big as it's going to get for you guys. I'm going to zoom in on this one. 100 is pretty good. It's pretty zoomed in. You get about a third of the page, but you can read it. So we're going to start on slide 1, and we only have 3 slides total. So essentially, we're going to read through it, answer the comprehension questions, learn about the Persian Wars, which is kind of how Rome came to be in general, and answer the questions as we go. And then we will be done for the day. The only thing we're doing today is these 3 slides. Really? Nice and quick. So the directions here say to read through the overview of the Persian War below. Periodically, you will be asked to ask questions at check-in points to be sure. Wow, I'm really not struggling with my reading today. Be sure to reread it if you need to. Finally, once you're finished, you will compile a news report about the Persian War to release to your boss. I don't think we're doing that part. I think we're just going to answer the questions. I don't believe we're doing a news report. I don't really want to do a news report. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to mute this. Okay, sorry. So basically, we're going to read the information, answer the questions. So let's go ahead and start it. I will read it to you like we have been doing lately. Please make sure you're following along. This is one of those things that I give you plenty of time to do it as we are reading through it. So it can very easily be done as we're reading through it. So it says, the Persian Wars were a defining moment in Greek history. The Athenians, who would dominate Greece culturally and politically through the 5th century BCE, regarded the wars against Persia as their greatest and most defining moments. The Persian Wars began when Athens agreed to come to the aid of the Greek-speaking city-states on the coast of Asia Minor, or modern-day Turkey. These city-states were in rebellion against the Persian Empire. Their participation in the insurrection turned Persian attention to Athens. I'm really struggling to read today, I'm sorry. Then, in 490 BCE, Darius the Great launched an attack against the Greek mainland. The Athenian forces were under the command of Miltiades, a general who had previous military experience against the Persians. At the Battle of the Marathon, he urged the Athenians to attack immediately without waiting for reinforcement, even though their army was only a fraction of the size of the Persians. The Battle of Marathon is perhaps the single most important battle in Greek history. Had the Athenians lost, Greece would have eventually come under the control of the Persians, and all the subsequent culture and accomplishments of the Greeks may have been lost to prosperity. So, we're going to check to see if we're following so far. Also, this statue over here is of Darius the Great, who is the ruler of the Persian Empire when the wars began. So, let's start with our first one. What did the Greeks call their greatest and most defining moments? Set it up here. It's the very first sentence of the thing. I'm going to do bullet points. What are they called? The Persian Wars. Those were their defining moments. So I'm going to type the a little like blurb, yes, and I'd like you guys to write them in complete sentences. Okay, so write that one in complete sentences, please. Sorry, I'm just looking at something really quick. You know what I'm realizing? That I don't think that this is moving on to Rome like I thought it was. Where's my...
Double check it again.
Huh? I know, it's talking about Greece. And so we still might be talking about Greece, but my thought was that we were supposed to move on to Rome today. And I thought that the Persian Wars were about Rome. But you know, if this is what we're doing, then this is what we're doing. I think we actually take... Oh, you know what? We take today and tomorrow to finish up Greece, and we start Rome on Wednesday. That's my bad. So we're still talking about ancient Greece. That's my bad. I was like, why? This is not what I thought it was. I thought we were starting the Roman ones today. That's all right. We're going to continue with Greece for 2 more days, and then we move on to Rome on Wednesday. That's my bad. So the Persian Wars were the defining moment of Greek civilization. Then it asks, what caused the Persian Wars to begin? What do you guys think? Go back up and reread. Yeah, you can answer that loud.
Athens agreed to come to the aid of the Greek-speaking city-states on the coast of Asia Minor.
Okay, so Athens helped other city-states, right? No, because it says it right at the very beginning. Yes, but the Battle of Marathon is one of the battles in the Persian Wars. So the Persian Wars is the overlying set of like war, and the Battle of Marathon was one specific battle in the Persian War. Huh? Yeah, okay, write what you would like to write. Okay. So Athens came to the aid of other city-states to defend from who?
Rome.
No, we're not talking about Rome just yet.
Greece.
No, they are Greek.
Oh. You say
Persia. That's why they're called the Persian Wars, because they were fighting Persia. All right. And then finally, why is the Battle of Marathon known as the single most important battle in Greek history? Why would it be the most important battle? It does say it up here. Yeah, if they had lost, Greece wouldn't have been a thing anymore, right? If they had lost the battle. How do I write this without writing it in a sentence? I wrote the other one in a sentence for you. If battle lost. I'm gonna write like a caveman, and then you guys have to make a complete sentence. If battle lost, Greece gone. I think that's a pretty good caveman sentence. Now you guys please write that in a complete. Yeah, it does. So go ahead and write those in complete sentences, please. Let me go up a little bit so you guys can see that. All three of those. I'll give you about 2 minutes to make sure all three are in complete sentences, please, and thank you.
I was just about to ask, where's Tyson in the book?
He's underwater.
Yeah, I was just Tyrone. His name is Tyrone, not. He's not Tyrone. He's not Tyson. He's Tyrone. Tyrone. That does sound like
Okay. About 1 more minute, and then we're going to continue reading our next part. Okay, so once we've written all three of these as complete sentences, we're done with our first slide. So let's go ahead and go over to our second slide, slide number 2. We are going to continue reading here. A little bit more about the Persians and the Persian War, and then some more questions, comprehension questions. Are you ready to read this one? All right. This one says, the Persians did not attack Greece again for 10 years. But when Darius' son Xerxes became king, the Persians launched another expedition or another attack against Athens. This time they were determined to use overwhelming force. In 481 BCE, Xerxes gathered together an army of several 100,000 and a navy of 600 ships. He demanded that the Greek city-states submit to him without resistance, and many did, including Thebes. So basically, he went over to their coast and was like, yo, I got all this power, all these people, all these ships. You either let me take over or I'm going to kill all of you. The Athenians and Spartans, however, insulted the Persians and vowed resistance until the end. So the Athenians and the Spartans were like, nah, we got this. We're going to hold out. So fortunately for all of Greece, the Athenian politician Themistocles, had foreseen trouble many years ahead of time and had convinced the Athenians to begin a navy building project. Because of him, Athens had a navy of over 200 ships by the time the Great Persian invasion happened. So they had built up some sort of army to fight back, right? Yeah. So our questions here, are you still with me, is what it's asking. We have 1, 2, 3 questions here. Our first one says, what can you infer or guess about the relationship between Darius, which was the ruler of the Persians, the people fighting against Greece?
Rivals.
Yeah, they were probably rivals. But after the battle of Marathon, they were left alone for 10 years. So what can you say about that relationship? Huh? So maybe they were scared? So maybe they were scared. Say that again, Charlie. Yeah, Greece did win, so maybe he was scared of them. They were rivals. Maybe there was a respect there, so they decided to stop attacking.
Are the Spartans on Greece?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alex, turn around and type a sentence, please. Okay. So after the Battle of Marathon, when the Greeks won, Darius, the ruler of the Persians, was kind of like, okay, we're still rivals. I'm a little bit scared of your power, so I'm going to respect that and back off. But then Darius dies, and his son is like, oh, no, we're coming back. We're going to attack you. So that's kind of what happened. I literally just explained it in sentences. So I don't know how to help you with that. Okay. I'll give you about a minute to write that one in sentence. All right. Our next one, number 5, says, based on the short selection of text, so just that little paragraph, how would you describe Darius's son, Xerxes? How would you describe him? The son who attacked. Yeah. Probably. He might have, yeah. Yeah, no, Darius might have told his son, like, hey, yo, Greece isn't worth it. Let's not fight them. But did his son learn from that?
Nope.
No. So how would you describe Xerxes? Well, okay, let's raise our hands because I can't hear you all. Elijah.
What?
Oh, sorry. The Elijah in class was raising his hand. But if you have an answer, you can tell us.
No.
No, you're good. All right. Elijah in class, what was your answer? Hard-headed. So he like does whatever he wants to do. Okay. What else, Charlie?
Like, what's it called again?
I don't know what you were thinking.
Like, he doesn't, like, it's like when he does his lesson and, like, family lessons, stuff doesn't listen very well.
That would be kind of like hard-headed. Stubborn.
Stubborn, yeah.
Stubborn.
Stubborn for what
Tyler?
Pothead.
No, I don't think that was very appropriate. So let's not.
It's a pot. Like a pot.
Still no. Smarty. Probably, but I'm not gonna write that. Good. Probably angry. So he probably wasn't the greatest of dudes.
Stubborn and mean.
Mean is good. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that one into a sentence.
He doesn't know the meaning of mad or stubborn. Stubborn.
Students and teachers, excuse the interruption, and the announcement that student of the month will be announced tomorrow instead. Thank you.
I am very happy. No, not really.
All right. And then number 6 here says, why might Themistocles, who was the guy who predicted, like, yo, maybe we should make some ships. Why would he be considered one of the most important figures in Greek history? Go ahead. Okay, he built an army, right? Built an army of ships. Why is an army of ships important?
He wants his revenge for his father.
Then no. To fight the Persians. That was almost a complete sentence there too. So I'll give you guys about 2 minutes to make sure that these are in complete sentences, please.
I wonder what Xerxes' model was, or his motivation to fight.
I don't know. Maybe Xerxes was just power hungry and he wanted to take over as much land as he could.
But he didn't take over the land.
No, well, we don't know for sure yet if he was able to win his fight.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Alright.
He probably lost like a loser.
We don't know yet. Sorry, I was just looking at something. Okay, about one more minute, and then I'm gonna scroll down and read our next part.
That clock is freaking me out. That one. Wow. So cool.
All right, about 30 more seconds, and I'm gonna scroll down. All right. Okay. So our next part is a little bit more about Xerxes. Okay. So, little short paragraph. This one says, while Xerxes gathered his army, so while the Persians were gathering up their army, the 31 Greek city-states that decided to resist the Persians were uniting under the leadership of Sparta. So Sparta is going to lead all of these different city-states, like these different towns and civilizations, in a fight against the Persians. Many of the smaller cities had already conceded defeat and refused to send in any armies. So some of the smaller ones were like, nah, we're just going to give up, let them take us over. The first great battle of the united Greeks against Xerxes' army was at Thermopylae? Yeah, a narrow pass to the north of Thessaly. It was there that the Spartan king Leonidas, maybe, I don't know, with 300 Spartans, held out for 3 days against the entire Persian army. After a lopsided battle in which thousands of Persians were slaughtered, the resolute Spartans were eventually surrounded and slaughtered, and Xerxes' army passed unopposed into Athens. So they stood their ground for 3 days, and then what happened to all of them? They were killed, and the Persians just went right on into Athens. So let's do a little bit of
the Athens had victory.
no, not yet. The Persians had that victory.
Are the Spartans Athens or Greece?
Athens and Spartans are both Greek. It's the Persians that are the opposite people. Yeah. I guess so. So number 7 here says, what reasons can you think of as to why some of the smaller city-states from Greece had already been like, nah, we good, conceded defeat? Mari? Okay. No armies to fight with. Go ahead. You thought I don't know if they thought that one.
No armies to fight with.
Why else might they not want to fight? Any other ideas? Maybe they were scared. Yeah. Anything else that they might have decided, no, we're not going to fight?
Scared. Frightened. Forgotten the soldiers that united.
Okay, so go ahead and write that into a complete sentence. The next one does not have to be a complete sentence. We just need to write the meaning of the word. But I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. So up in the paragraph, let's see, it is, sorry, it's, okay, down at the bottom, I can't highlight it. I was trying to highlight the word resolute, but you guys need to tell me using context clues what resolute means. So it's in the very last sentence. It says, after a lopsided battle in which thousands of Persians were slaughtered, the resolute Spartans, so the Greeks, were eventually surrounded and slaughtered, and the Xerxes army passed unopposed to Athens. So does resolute mean that they were weak, that they were determined, they were unlawful, or were they cowardly? So you need to write your correct one in there. And if you really, really, really don't know, I would maybe Google it, because you have Google right there at your disposal. Okay? So figure out what the word resolute means. Okay. You can Google it, that is fine. Figure out what resolute means. Which word could be replaced there? Would you say the weak Spartans, the determined Spartans, the unlawful Spartans, or the cowardly Spartans?
The determined Spartans.
Okay, there's a lot of talking out happening that needs to stop, please.
The determined Spartans.
Okay, it is still happening. Skylar, I need you to stop speaking out, please. Yes. I guess, yeah, you could, I guess, move the thing to circle it. I didn't know you could do that, or you could type it in the box, one of the two. Make sure you type the word out, though, not A, B, C, or D. It's just easier for me to see it. Please type the whole word. All right. Yeah? Yes? Who? Yes. Yep. All right, those of you who are going to lose some recess time soon, so I suggest we zip it. All right, we have one last slide to do, so let's go ahead and look at slide number 3 here. Couple more readings, and we're done. Actually, we just have a couple more questions, but it says, so the Battle of Thermopylae, I think that's how you say it, is the one where the Spartans lose and the Persians start heading towards Athens. So it says, as soon as the Battle of Thermopylae was lost, the Greek fleet, which is a group of ships, so the Greek fleet worked full time to evacuate Athens and its surrounding communities to a nearby island. Most Athenians were stationed on the islands of Salamis. It was here, after much debate, where the decision was made to give battle to the Persians at once. The final naval battle of Salamis ensued, and during which the Greek fleet won a dramatic and decisive victory over the much larger Persian navy. The Persian fleet was destroyed, and Xerxes returned to Persia, leaving Mardonius, Xerxes' brother-in-law, in charge of the conquered region. So based on that paragraph, we have some areas, the parts of, what's it called? Greece that decided not to fight. The Mardonius, Xerxes' brother-in-law, stayed there to rule over those areas. I guess so. That's how you get a brother-in-law, so yeah. So they left behind a couple of Persians to rule over the Greek city-states that decided to submit and let them be conquered. But Athens put up a really good fight, and did they win? Yep. Athens won and defeated the Persian army.
You mean the Spartans?
No. Persians.
But Athens didn't try to fight. The Spartans did like a lot.
Yep. And somehow Athens still won. So, and then it says, most of the citizens in Athens retired to the Peloponnesian Peninsula, which the Spartans had fortified in anticipation of the Persian attack. It was not until the following spring that Spartan leadership realized that the Persians had no intention of meeting them at their fortified location, and that in order to drive the Persians away from Greek soil, they would have to meet them in open battle. After considerable hesitation and delay, a terrific battle was fought at Plataea. Here, the Persians were defeated to end the Persian War. So who won the Persian War?
Athens.
Athens and Greece overall won the Persian War.
Oh.
Lots of different battles throughout the years. Like you can win small battles here and there or lose them. But overall, the Persian War ended and Sparta and Greece and Athens all won. Yes. Yes.
Oh.
No. Sparta is part of Greece. No, it's in Greece. So let's check in. The battle that destroyed the Persian navy is known as the Battle of what? So which one destroyed the navy? Was it Battle of Marathon, the Battle of Thermopylae, the Battle of Plataea, or the Battle of Salamis? What do you guys think? Yep. No. It was the Battle of Salamis. That is the one that took over, or that allowed them to defeat the Persians at sea. Okay. And then which battle ended the Persian War? Good, it's the Plataea one. The Battle of Plataea is where nope, the Battle of Plataea is where the Persian War ended, yes. And like we said, the Persian War ended and who won? Greece, right?
Yeah. Right now, where's Greece?
Where is Greece? It's in Europe.
Wait, who's been to Europe before?
All right. So let's go ahead and finish off reading this. This is kind of like an after the Persian Wars, the results of the Persian Wars. It says, the Persian War was remarkable not only for its ferocious battles, which showcased the superiority of Greek military methods, but also the fractious Greeks were able to drop their strong divisions and unite behind a single cause. So remember, we've talked about how different cities across Greece did not like each other. They did not like Sparta and Athens. They did not like each other. So because of that, it was difficult for them to work together, but they dropped all of their differences to fight this war, which was really good. So one popular outcome of the Persian War was the introduction of a new military method known as the Greek phalanx. The phalanx is a rectangular military formation composed of heavy infantry, armed with heavy spears and pikes. This tactic allowed the unit to move together while being heavily protected, so it's a way to move across a battlefield. A second major result of the Persian Wars was the creation of the Delian League. This was an alliance of Greek city-states led by Athens to protect Greece from another Persian attack in the future. League members donated funds to pay for a navy that protected all of Greece. This league, however, would lead to Athens abusing its power and using the Navy primarily for its own purposes. So they created this league, basically like they created a Navy, like the branch of the Army that we have now, the branch of the military called the Navy. They created a form of it, yeah. Created ships and all of that stuff. And, guys, you've lost 5 minutes of your recess tomorrow. You gotta stop talking when I'm trying to talk. So, it's basically like our military branches now, where they created a Navy to go on in the ships and all the water and stuff like that. But then Athens started to not do great things with it, abuse the power of it, but that comes later. And then lastly, the defeat of the Persian Empire allowed Greek culture to continue to thrive and spread throughout the world. If the Persians had won, the history of the ancient Greeks would not be what it is today. So the history of Europe would be far different from what we know if the Greeks had lost in this. The Persians would have taken over that area, and it would be a lot different, basically. I can't hear you because like 3 people tried to talk over you. I'm sorry. I don't know who created the Navy. I mean, every country has different forms of all the different branches of the military, so I don't know who created the very first one, but they're all based off of different things throughout history, yeah. But I couldn't be for sure who made the first one. So, at this point, you should have all 3 slides done. And if you do, you are able to get that turned in. Can we talk about that after? Okay. So, those of you that are online, that is all that we are going to be doing today. And you guys are able to head